Hello everyone, welcome back to Kacchi Pakki Padhai. So, in the previous session, on the previous video, we have read about variations in psychological attributes in which we have discussed individual differences, which refers to distinctiveness and variations among behavior characteristics and behavioral patterns. Then we have talked about situationism, in which situation and circumstances influence one's behavior in which he or she is placed, in which we have read about the example of a person who is arrogant and behaves in a very polite manner in front of his or her boss. Then we have also talked about variability, in which we have talked about variations in height, weight, complexion, psychological dimensions and all. Then we have talked about assessment, which is of basically of two types, formal and informal. And assessment is basically measurement of psychological attributes, often using multiple methods in terms of standards of comparison. Then we have discussed that assessment is basically of two types, that is formal and informal. Informal assessment, it is objective, standardized, and organized. But when we talk about informal assessment, it varies from one person to another. Then we have also talked about psychological attributes, in which five attributes were there, that is intelligence, personality, interest, aptitude, values, right? Also, we have discussed, some of the psychological methods, which were psychological test, observation. Then we have talked about, self report, interview, and psychological test. Now what we are going to discuss today is intelligence, right? So basically, in this chapter, there are various definitions of intelligence which are given. First, we talk about definition, which is given by Oxford Dictionary, which explains intelligence as the power of perceiving, learning, and knowing. So basically, when we perceive things, we learn them, we understand them, and we know them. That is intelligence, right? According to what? According to Oxford Dictionary. Then there was a psychologist who was named Alfred Binet. Alfred Binet was the first psychologist who used to work on intelligence. Now, how he has defined intelligence is as the ability to understand well, judge well, and reason well. A person who can, judge what is right, what is wrong, who can understand others, and who can reason, who can give valid reasons for his or her actions is known as intelligence. Then we talk about Wechsler. Wechsler, used to work on the adaptation of environment, right? So he defined intelligence as the global and aggregate capacity of an individual to think rationally, act purposefully, and to deal effectively with his or her environment. Then we talk about Gardner and Sternberg, who suggested that intelligence is not only for the environment, but also how human beings shapes and modifies it. So here we talk about four psychologists or four things who have defined intelligence. First is Oxford Dictionary. Second is Alfred Binet, who was the first psychologist to work on intelligence. Then we talk about Wechsler, who felt like intelligence is all about adaptation of environment. Then we talk about Gardner and Sternberg, who thinks that intelligent individual not only adapts to the environment, but we also shapes and modifies it, right? Then we talk about theories of intelligence. So here we talk about two types of theories of intelligence. First is psychometric. Psychometric basically means that we have an aggregate of abilities. Aggregate of abilities here means that we have a cluster of abilities, like cognitive abilities, thinking, remembering, knowing, learning. They are all part of our cognitive abilities. Then we talk about information processing approach, in which people use intellectual reasoning. Whenever word intellectual comes, intellectual is basically related to intelligence and problem solving. The major focus of information processing was on how an intelligent person reacts. Okay, so now we in psychometric approach, there are some theories which are given, which we're going to read right now. Okay, so when we talk about first theory is uni or one factor theory of intelligence. Alfred Binet was the first psychologist who tried to formalize the concept of intelligence in terms of mental operation. Now he is trying to explain himself in terms of mental operations. Mental operations here means thinking, remembering, learning, and all. Prior to him, we find the notion of intelligence described in general ways in various physiological treatises available in different cultural traditions. Binet's theory of intelligence was rather simple, as it arose from his interest in differentiating more intelligent from less intelligent individuals. Basically, here he wanted to differentiate between that who is more intelligent and who is less intelligent. He conceptualized intelligence as consisting one similar set of abilities which can be used for solving every problem. So he basically wanted to have, one set of abilities from whose help we are going to solve every problem. This theory came to be disrupted when psychologists started analyzing data of individuals, which was collected using Binet's test. So every theory has some modification. So this theory was disputed when other individuals came and they started collecting data that single ability can never lead to solution of every problem, right? Then we talk about Charles Spearman. Here, Charles Spearman has given us two-factor theory in which two factors are there. One is general and the second one is specific. General factors are something which are present in every individual, and specific factors are something which are there in which are special abilities present in special people. For example, general ability is primary. That means a person who can see, a person who can remember, but a person who is a singer, architect, scientist, and athlete have some specific abilities. Then we talk about Lewis Thurston's theory, that is theory of primary mental abilities, in which we talk about seven primary mental abilities. Okay. So number one is verbal comprehension. That means we are trying to know the meaning of words, concepts, and ideas. Then we talk about numerical abilities. That means speed and accuracy, numerical and computational skills. Then we talk about spatial relations, that means visualization. Perceptual is that how do we perceive things around us? Word fluency is how can you use words fluently and flexibly? Memory is accuracy and recalling information. Inductive reasoning is deriving general rules from presented facts. Okay. Then we talk about Arthur Jensen okay, so he proposed a hierarchical model of intelligence, and he said that intelligence consists of two abilities, that is level one and level two. For example, level one consisted of associative learning, that means rectification of things. Okay, so here the output is more or less similar to whatever the input has been given. Then we talk about cognitive competence, in which higher order skills are there, and we have to transform or visualize or use our knowledge and have to find out the answers effectively, right? Then we talk about J.P. Guilford's structure of intellect model, which classifies intelligence on the basis of three dimensions, that is operation, contents, and products. Operation is what a person is doing, that means recognition, memory recording, memory retention, divergent production, convergent production, and evaluation. Contents refers to on which intellectual operations are performed, which includes visual, auditory, symbolic. Semantic is words, and behavioral is information about people's behavior, attitude, needs, etc. Product is the form in which the information is processed by the respondent. Here, products are classified into units, classes, reactions, systems, transformations, and implications. Here, Guilford classified it. Sorry, yeah, Guilford classified into 5 into 6 categories. That means this model has 180 cells, and each cell is expected to have one factor or ability. Some cells may have more than one factors, and each factor is described in terms of all three dimensions. Today, I'm going to stop here only because I believe in learning things simultaneously and slowly. In case you have liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. In case you have certain doubts, so please write it down in the comment section, or I'll be sharing my Instagram link very soon so that you can inbox me right there. Do like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more such kind of videos. Thank you and have a nice day.